It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast. You know, on Saturdays, we play fun music and we feature great information at 993thevine.com with me, Big Rick Stewart, and music from my time at Live 105 and at KFOG. We also mix in some stories that I find kind of interesting, whether it's local music or food or tech or just kind of some cool things I think you ought to know about. It's always lots of fun. Fun music and great information happens every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast features great information like this. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information. I have my studios and, well, everything else I have is down here in Las Vegas. It's pretty nice in Las Vegas. Yeah, it's a little warm, that's for sure. And there's a lot of music, and so I'm trying to see some music I want to tell you about. Seeing Ringo Starr and his all-star band. All-star spelled with 2 R's, of course, right? Now, he's been doing this tour for a really long time. And if you're not aware of this, Ringo Starr puts together some great musicians from different bands. And they come out and they start off doing some Ringo Starr Beatles songs, and then each artist does a song from the band they were in that made them famous. For example, at the Venetian Theater, it was a great show, great place to see shows. Ringo Starr came out, did a couple Beatles songs, and then Steve Lukather, who is this great guitar player, he was in the band Toto. You know, they did Rosanna and Hold the Line and Africa, but they would go around and each do a song, and then the next guy would do a song. Also in the band, Colin Hay from Men at Work. He did, you know, all the Men at Work hits you would think. And Edgar Winter doing Free Ride and Frankenstein. One of the guys was from the Average White Band, so they played some of those cool, funky Average White Band songs from the 70s, and it was just really a lot of fun. And it's a great show, and Ringo comes out and sings, and then Ringo plays the drums, and it goes back and forth, and everybody does these great songs, and the crowd ate it up, and yes, people were dressed like Sgt. Pepper, and there was a ton of Beatles fans in the crowd, and everybody sang along to the songs they knew and loved, and it was really fun. So the show's coming up for Ringo Starr and his all-star band you might want to check out. June 9th at Lincoln, June 11th in San Francisco, and June 17th in San Jose. It's a good show. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Big Rick Stewart, the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Always fun music and great information at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information. I'm Big Rick Stewart. All right, we're going to put together the NBA Finals, free food, and Twitter. Are you ready? All right, now pay attention to this now. Chipotle is going to give away free burritos, or I guess kind of anything else you kind of want, but basically burritos, during the NBA Finals when a three-pointer is made during the game. All right, now it's not just like run down to the Chipotle and get in line. It doesn't really work that way, but they are giving away free food, and they call this the Free Pointer Promotion. All right, so they're going to give away some free food, and here's how it works. When one of the teams hits a three-pointer during the NBA Finals, they're going to drop a text-to-win code with a tweet from Chipotle Tweets on Twitter. And then the first 300 fans to text that code to 888-222 receive a free entree from Chipotle, which you got to act fast because, I mean, it's not like unlimited. They're going to give away $10,500 a game. Wow, that's a lot. And now both of the teams that are in the finals, Denver and Miami, they both make a lot of three-pointers. So this could, you know, kind of work out really well for you. So you can sign up for Twitter. It's actually free, so don't worry about that. And follow along and look for that code and text it back. And, you know, it's a little bit involved, but come on, it's free food. It's pretty awesome. Hey, while you're on Twitter, you can also look up me, Big Rick Stewart, BigRick_XLDJ. I'm on Twitter actually a lot. There's food and wine stories, some music entertainment, golf, bicycling, UFOs. You know, there's all kinds of good information. All right. I can't give you a free burrito, though. Thanks for hanging out with me today. The Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information right here at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. One of the recent streaming binge-watching sensations was the remake of The Addams Family, and one of the most talked about scenes involved the dance at the prom that the lead character did to a song by this band, the Cramps. The Cramps aren't around anymore, unfortunately. However, that kind of rocketed them up and people started checking out the Cramps. One of the most famous Cramps shows, and certainly way before Bottle Rock, and one of the most famous Napa Valley shows ever, was a Cramps performance at the Napa State Hospital. Yeah, our Napa State Hospital. They did a show with a San Francisco band called the Mutants, and this was back on June 13th, 1978. There's a whole backstory as to how a punk rock band got a show booked inside Napa State Hospital, but here's the updated information we have for you. This was filmed, and it was available on VHS tape for a while. Now it's available, or it's going to be available as a Blu-ray release. Evidently, this is like the full performance from both bands, San Francisco's Mutants and the Cramps as well, at Napa State Hospital. First time it's ever been released in this, kind of version. A Blu-ray release is coming out soon. You can look for it, and it was kind of a legendary performance, and the whole backstory of how it all happened was really something. Yeah, definitely was. Maybe we should have a viewing party for this or something. All right. So look for the Cramps Napa State Hospital show coming to a Blu-ray release near you. And thanks for tuning in today. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. Chevy trucks. Now, if you're a faithful Chevy truck person, right on, man. Good for you. And if you are a faithful Chevy truck person, you might have been waiting for Chevy to announce their EV trucks. I mean, Ford has their truck. Rivian is kind of a big deal. Some others are kind of on the way. Tesla, at some point, will probably have their truck out. Well, this is pretty big news because Chevrolet recently got their official government mileage numbers, and they recently announced some pretty big range for the Chevy Silverado. According to the Detroit Free Press, the 2024 Silverado EV WT will get an EPA estimated 450 miles on a single charge. That's just about get you down to LA in just one go. That's a big number. The Ford F-150 Lightning has about 320 miles, and the Rivian about 314 miles. The GMC Hummer EV pickup 329 miles, but it's not really so much a truck as it's a big SUV with a little truck bed. All right, so now what's the version that's getting this mileage? It's the Chevy Silverado EV WT. WT stands for work truck, which is kind of a more stripped down, affordable truck. It's for people that work, and it's really directed towards fleet sales. But with that kind of battery technology, that's pretty good. 450 miles. That's amazing. All right, ask your Chevy dealers. Put down a deposit. I don't know, do whatever they want you to do, and good luck. Hey, thanks for listening to the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack with me, Big Rick Stewart. Fun music and great information at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. We like to do this every Saturday, hang out with you and, play some tunes and see what's going on in the world. You know what's going on? Netflix password sharing, their crackdown on password sharing has arrived. Now, you can still do this. It's just going to cost you a little bit of money. You might have already received an email, but if you haven't or you're wondering about this, well, are you ready? If you have the Netflix standard plan, $15.49 a month, you have the option of adding one extra member who can use the service outside of your household. So this is for other people, not inside your household. This is for outside. For about $8 a month, you can add a person. If you have Netflix premium package with 4K streaming, you can add two members, but each one has to pay another $7.99, but you can have two of those. Now, they do have options if you travel, like, you're in an RV and you have a streaming service and you want to watch it outside of your house. They have some ways to set that up as well. Netflix subscribers in the U.S. who share the service, quote, outside their households, are getting emails from the company, and they're telling you how to do all this and what the costs and what the fees are. There's a lot of options, and okay, some people are really mad about it and they're canceling, but other people are saying, all right, Let's do this. I'm kind of one of those let's do this people. Thanks for hanging out with me today. However you're going to figure this out, good luck. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And it's free. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. Over in Hawaii, the coffee farms are having trouble. Now, this is kind of like an agricultural story, so we're drawing in all of our agricultural friends, and maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you've heard about this. Here's a headline from HawaiiNewsNow.com. Tiny wasps released to save Hawaii coffee farms from invasive beetle. Wow, this story is kind of wild. Tiny wasps the size of dust particles. Yes, tiny. Could be the answer to saving Hawaii's coffee farms. University of Hawaii researchers are going to set a swarm on a Hawaii island, coffee farm there, to see how this works out. And then if it works out, they're going to spread this around. Tens of thousands of, let me see if I get this right, Phimasticus coffea are currently being bred in a lab, and they're going to release these in September. And their goal is to kill the invasive coffee berry borer beetle. Hawaiian coffee is delicious, and we gotta save it. I mean, if this is what it takes. Let's see. They're going to do this, and they say it's 50% more effective than using insecticides. And one of the researchers, this entomologist, says it'll come and sit on the back of the beetle. It will insert its stinger, angling the apparatus into the body of the beetle between the wings and lay eggs in it. The eggs hatch. The larvae eat the inside of the beetle and kill it. That is disgusting. But that's nature, right? I mean, this crazy stuff happens in nature. This is science. And if it saves Hawaiian coffee, 2 thumbs up. You go, little dust particle sized things, and you do your thing, and I'll just drink coffee. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm Big Rick Stewart. Agriculture. It's a Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. You know, I love the 80s. I mean, I was kind of prime time. That was peak Big Rick Stewart, maybe. I don't know. It was a lot of fun in the 80s. Fun music, and I don't know, the clothes were crazy, right? And all that. And the movies are pretty good as well. And the combination of movie soundtracks and movies and the whole thing coming together was awesome. One of the guys behind all that was Danny Elfman, of course, in Oingo Boingo. And if you're an Oingo Boingo fan, you have to be a fan of the movie Weird Science. Here is a really good headline from GiantFreakingRobot.com. I kind of never heard of this website before, but I saw this story, and Weird Science is coming back. This is what they say. It's getting a 4K upgrade in a new box set. And I mean, they went all out for this new box set for the movie Weird Science, which is originally released back in 1985. All right, so it's a big Blu-ray. It's a 94-minute original theatrical cut, along with extended versions featuring some additional scenes, plus the edited for TV version of Weird Science, which is a little bit different than the movie theater version, of course. A documentary, Alive, resurrecting Weird Science, is going to be there as well, plus all kinds of other bonus features. If you don't know the movie, okay, that's all right. The movie stars Anthony Michael Hall. Kelly LeBrock is in the movie. Bill Paxton and Robert Downey Jr., pre-Iron Man days. It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. And look for this feature Blu-ray box set and relive the 80s. Great soundtrack as well. All right, there you go, Weird Science fans. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. Well, those are some stories that I have featured on the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Tune in at 8 a.m. every Saturday at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart here. Music from my days at Live 105 and K-Fog, some current songs, lots of surprises, and more. It's always lots of fun. We have a 10 at 10, a Beatles brunch at noon. It happens all day. The Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack and the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack podcast. Tell your friends, and thanks for listening to this podcast, and thanks for checking out 993thevine.com.